Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and this time I'm checking out Land vs. Sea. Land vs. Sea is a tile placement game from 2 to 4 players, designed by Jon-Paul Jacques and published by Good Games Publishing. And Land and Sea, 2 to 4 players are going to be competing to score points by completing land masses, completing bodies of water, scoring waypoints, scoring caravans and cargo ships and mountainous ranges and coral reefs and things like that. All types of ways to score. Plays in about 40 minutes and is for players 14 and up. Although I honestly feel like somebody a little younger could probably play it. Maybe it's because of some of the smaller pieces here, but that's neither here nor there. And open the box starting now. It's opening. It's going. You can't stop it. It's going to happen. I don't know why I'm so excited. Wow, I kind of got stuck there. Come on. There we go. Well, this is also upside down. Let me turn it around, I guess. Okay, these are the player aids that just give you another visual reminder of how you're scoring based on the number of players. So in a 3-player game, the cartographer, I'll get into that in a moment, would be scoring on mountains and coral reefs being connected adjacently. And in a 3-player game, the cartographer would be scoring caravans and ships next to each other. I'll explain that. And then in a 2 to 4 player game, the players would be scoring caravans and ships on tiles adjacent to each other and mountains and coral adjacent to each other respectively. I'm tired. I don't know if that's the right thing. So I'm looking to the right, and you can't see me like somebody's gonna tell me, off camera. And there's nobody standing there. There's a lamp and a bunch of video games. Not the point. So, yeah, these are player aids. The scoring track is built into the box. It's right here, and these are going to be the various icons that we're going to be able to use. So this is the cartographer. Like I said, I'll get into that in a moment. And basically, you're picking land versus sea. So sea has these waves, which sort of represent, the sea. Because, yeah. And land, there's mountains that represent land because, of course. And then most importantly, you're going to have a plethora. I wish I knew how many there were. I probably should look. 58 double-sided map tiles. 58 of them. This is the one that you begin with. As you can see, it is half land and half sea. So you can call it Ray. You can call it Jay. There you go. This is the double-sided volcano and whirlpool tile. So if you're ever in a position where you somehow have created a scenario where you have tiles that have water on 6 sides, this could go right in the middle and you would score 5 points. These little X's mean bonus points. And the same for the volcano. If you ever have a scenario where you somehow build all the way around it with land, you'd put the volcano there and score 5 bonus points on the aforementioned scoring tracker. And then these are the other tiles. So example of some of the tiles with this logo on them mean that you can steal 1 tile from your opponent. That's what this means. And the double sides are real. Like the double side, like that has nothing to do. Like this one has a ship on it. This one has land and sea and stuff on it, but also lets you steal. But they are double sided. And this particular tile would allow you to take another turn. Oh, also it has steal a tile on the back of it. So make a choice. You're going to go again, or you're going to steal. I suspect that what you want to do in the game at that moment would dictate which side you would use. So let me just show you what a setup might look like and run you through a couple of turns and sort of explain how the game works. Okay, this is what a setup might look like. And whoever picks land would go first, and they would draft 2 tiles from the top of either stack and until both players had 2. So let's say land's going to be over here and C is going to be over here. And they could take 1 from each, just whatever. And they can also play either side they want. So typically land will go first. Land's on this side. Or if we're playing a team game, I probably should mention that the 4-player version of this game is a team-based game. So you're ideally playing with teams of 2, which is where these waypoints come in. I'm not really going to be showing these waypoints. Basically mean you can put this on an area and let's say, well, I was here. So the waypoint is trying to tell my teammate without speaking verbally to, hey, let's finish this area. And then once this body of land is complete, we'd score a point for the waypoint being on a complete piece of land. The same would go for C as well, if memory serves. So you see here for a 2 or 4 player game, if you have mountains or coral, tiles with mountains that are touching each other score 2 points. Tiles with coral touching each other score 2 points. And basically it's 1 point per, honestly, because you see there's 2 for mountains here and there's 3 for mountains here because there's 1, 2, 3 mountainous regions touching on 3 different tiles. So basically you get 1 point for every mountainous region touching another, and you get, regardless of whether that body is complete. And for coral, you get 1 point for every coral reef touching that are all adjacent to each other. So that's mountains and coral. And for caravan and ships throughout the game, every time you put a ship next to a caravan, you would earn 2 points for having a ship touch a caravan. I think that's the way it is. I don't think it's ships and caravans, but I could be wrong. I hope not. Whoever places a caravan or ship tile adjacent to any other caravan or ship tiles immediately scores 2 points. So it doesn't matter. So if you have ship, you score 2 points. If you have ship, caravan, you score 2 points. You score those points immediately. That will be reflected here. And at the end of the game, any area where you have contiguous ships and caravans is considered a trade route, and whoever has the most trade routes in that area will get 1 point per. So if you had an area that had 5 ships in it and 3 caravans in one clump of in one contiguous clump of tiles, the person playing C would get 5 points because they had more ships than caravans. And it works the same. It works vice versa. It works the same way. So I'm saying a lot of things. Anyway, let me just start. So your turn consists of placing a tile and drawing another tile to replace it. Yes, keeping in mind that if you play a tile that allows you to steal, you cannot steal your opponent's last tile. You also cannot play the tile that you just stole. And if you already have 2 tiles, you would not draw a third. You just continue on with 2 tiles. I'm trying to think, is there a scenario where you would steal and not have that stolen one be your second tile? I don't know. I guess at the end of the game. Anyway, I've said a lot of things. I'll show you how it works. So land's going to start. So let's say land plays this tile here and releases the Kraken. And then they're going to draw this one. And the reason they pick this one is because if you see those 2 X's on it, if as soon as land completes a landmass with those X's, they're going to get bonus points. So this tile has bonus points. It has 1 bonus point in the sea and then 2 bonus points on land. Here's how the game also works. If I'm land and I complete a sea area, C scores 1 point for every C tile comprising that area, and vice versa. So you can be doing something that helps you out, but you could also inadvertently help your opponent. So you gotta be careful. However, whenever you complete a sea or land area, whoever completes it gets the bonus points, regardless of whether it's land or sea. So if I completed an area that had bonus, if I completed an area that happened to have a C part in it with a bonus point, I would get that bonus point and not the C. I guess it's easier to show you than just to keep saying. All right, so that was player 1. So example of something you probably not want to do is player 2 would probably not want to do this, because that would bring player 1 closer to completing it. But let's say hypothetically player 2 completed this. I don't know why they would. Let's say this was a completed landmass. Player 1 would win 3 points if this was a completed landmass, but then player 2 would get 2 bonus points because there were bonus points on what they completed, even if they didn't get the points for the tiles of the land completion. So they're gonna want to focus on land, and they can steal. Oh wow! Or they can play another one. So let's say, okay. So let's say land does. Let's say the person playing C does this. So that is a completed body of water, and they're not going to score anything here because this is outside of this body of water, but they would score 2 points because there's 2 tiles comprised of that body of water. So then C has 2 points. Look at that. And then they would draw back up. There's no coral here yet. These both have coral. But this one has a ship though, so they're gonna want that. And back over to player 1. What are they going to do? Okay, so player 1 could complete that. That is a body of land. That is land, and that's 2. That's worth 2. So they're gonna be, well, there you go. So yeah, they completed that. And nobody gets bonus points here because none of these 4 are contained in a landmass or a body of water. And then they're going to draw back up. They're going to want a caravan because why not? All right, back over to the C player. The C player is going to want to play this. So all this is closed off except for right here. So that's good. That is good for. That's good for C, because then they'll get 1 point for each tile that comprises this body of water once it's completed, plus 2 additional points for completing that body. But they also get to steal a card. Let's see. What are they going to steal here? Okay, they can't look at the underside of it, but they can certainly take a look. So they're going to steal this one. All right, so back over to player 1. Now they only have 1 tile, but they, obviously they can still play either side. They have the option of going and stealing it back, or maybe they want to complete something. Let's see what they have here. What happens if they do that? That's okay. So you can't do something like this. So even though this body of land continues this way, you can't just have water, land, land, water. It has to make sense. You know, that's kind of what a beach is, but not the point. I mean, there have to be rules. Without rules, I mean, there's just chaos. So maybe I don't know, maybe they're salty. They really want to get these tiles back, or they're like, yeah, I'm good, whatever. I don't know what I want to do here. All right, let's say they do this. Okay, bringing this big thing 1 step closer. That once they do complete it, there's 5 land bonus tiles on that. So that's points for everything making it up, in addition to at least 5 extra points. I say at least because they could add more tiles that have more points on it. Maybe even better to put this down and steal, but I don't want to do that. I want to put this right here. And then they get to draw 2. So they're going to draw 1, 2. All right, back over to the C. What are they going to do? All right, move this over here. They really want to finish this off. I really wish there was a mountain that I could put here so that I could get an extra 2 points for having a mountainous. Here's a mountain right here, mountainous range touch. Still no coral out there. There's coral here, but there's no coral here. All right, so let's say they do this. Okay. Which, not the worst thing. You see the trident from Poseidon. So they completed a body of water. Yay them. Another body of water comprised of 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles. So that's 4 points. Plus 2 bonus points. So that's 6. So they're going from 2. They're going from 2 to 8. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, this isn't involved. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excuse me. 5, 6. So 6. Sorry. All right. That was pretty decent turn. Now there's coral on both of these, but maybe they hate draft this one just because they see the mountains on it and they don't want land to get it. All right, so back over to land. And what is land going to do? Can they really finish anything? I don't think so. I mean, they could finish something silly like right here with this, but I mean, that's not gonna get us what we want. Although, if they do this, they have 2 ships, ship and ship. I'm sorry. If they do that, they have a caravan and a ship. So that's 2 points. They did put a coral down there that, C could use, but whatever. So that's 2 points just for that. And then 2 points for the land. So that's 4 points. So now they're up to 6. That's not too bad. And then they would draw. Let's say they draw this one. So anyway, that's a couple of turns on how Land and Sea kind of plays for a 2-player game. A 4-player game would be 2 teams of 2. I guess ideally, according to the rules, I believe not communicating verbally, but using the waypoints to say, like, hey, finish this or go here so we can get the point for it. And, I feel like it's advantageous. That's sort of how it plays. The 2 and 4 player are more similar to me, especially in terms of scoring. Because you see 2 and 4 like that. 3 players is interesting because in a 3-player game, so in a 3-player game, 1 player would be the cartographer. So the cartographer, each other player, land and sea, would take their waypoints. This would actually go onto the scoring board. And the cartographer also take turns placing tiles, but instead of earning points for finishing bodies of water or areas of land, the cartographers, a lot of their points are going to come off of having adjacent mountains and coral and caravans and ships, because the cartographer's goal is to have an even number of an even trade route, meaning trade routes that have an equal number of caravans and ships. But obviously land wants to have more caravans, sea wants to have more ships. So the cartographer is kind of trying to balance that out. Let me give you my thoughts. So, upon looking at land and sea, my first thought, which I'm going to project here and say it might have been a thought of many others, was Carcassonne. And I have to say that this is not, I'm sure it was influenced by Carcassonne, but it does not play quite like Carcassonne to me. But you can see the influences, but that's fine. That doesn't matter. I like Land and Sea. I think it's a very fun game. I really like the back and forth, because I've played games before where a person was building, a huge body of water or land mass, hoping to score that big, huge, point during a turn, investing all this time into scoring something towards the end of the game, where I was scoring 5 here, 6 here, 7 here, and was just eating up this scoreboard. But it can go either way. Like, I've had games where I was getting little bits and points here and there, and I did 1-on-1. I've also had games where I did the same thing. The other person went for the big bang, 35 points at once for some huge, land mass or body of water, and they won. So it can go either way. The rules do say that you're better off scoring fewer points here and there rather than going for the big bang, because if you don't get the tiles you need, you end up short. But like anything else, they get shuffled, they're random. But I really did pay attention to and really like, scoring off of the mountains and the coral and the caravan and shit. That's an interesting mechanic. So I feel like the game is mechanically, it's quite simple. The challenge comes in working with what you have and trying to really maximize the most points. So I do like it. I like the look of it. I don't know. It just looks appealing. It's fun. The tiles are nice. The components are nice. It's a nice looking game. I'm not always a huge fan of the scoreboard built into the box, but it works. It's fine. It did its job. The things I didn't like, I didn't find the cartographer element to be intuitive at first. It took more games with 3 players to really wrap my head around it. Even though I understand the cartographer, the 3-player game, I mean, I really think this game shines at 2 and 4. The cartographers is interesting. I guess it's weird to say, hey, 2 and 4, and that's it. I don't know when Jon-Paul Jacques was making the game whether he felt pressured, like, well, I got to do something for 3-player. I can't just have 2 and 4. So I like cartographers. The fact that I like that it's there. Like, there was a 3-player game. It does something a little bit different, but you are scoring a bit differently, and that's cool. It might work for some. It just didn't seem quite as intuitive as the 1-on-1, the 2-player game, or a team game. But all in all, I'm glad it's there. And even if it doesn't work for everybody the same way, you can win as a cartographer. It is possible. You're just paying attention to. You're putting more an emphasis on other things than the other players are. So you kind of have to think a little bit differently. So I don't know. I like it. That's my only real detractor is I don't think the 3-player game is as strong as the other 2. But hey, 2 out of 3. Ain't bad. And like I said, the 3rd, it's not like it doesn't work at all. It's just, to me, it's not as intuitive. I don't know. I like the game. It's really fun. Aaron recommends. That's Land vs. Sea from Jon-Paul Jacques from Good Games Publishing. It's fun. Go out there and grab this game. That's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a like, thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Take care, stay safe, and be blessed.